in 1995, a movie came out starring John Travolta. It's an LA movie, it's a movie business movie, and it's also a mob movie. Hey Adrian, look at me. Look at me. Get Shorty, did you ever see?
Did you ever see?
One honest man has come to Hollywood to make a killing.
My name's Chili Palmer.
Chili's a gangster. Ran a club I used to play at for another gangster back in Miami. How is Momo these days anyway?
Dead. So you make movies, huh?
I produce feature motion pictures.
I got an idea for a movie.
Doesn't everybody?
Ray, look at me.
Why don't you take a look at this?
You must bring something heavy to the deal.
I do. Me.
You're getting Martin Weir for the part of Lovejoy. How are you gonna do that?
I'm gonna take a gun, I'm gonna put it to his head, and I'm gonna say, sign the papers, Martin, or you're dead. That's it.
I wonder, would that work?
Get Shorty.
All right, Get Shorty comes out in 1995. This is a movie that I think goes in the category of Did You Ever See? However, this is a super successful version of Did You Ever See movie. I said at the top, it's an LA movie, it's a movie business movie, it's a mob movie. What I think is the best part about this Did You Ever See movie is this is a pretty big ensemble cast movie. Would you agree this is like that era of big ensemble cast? This movie was one, and of the time we had these from time to time, where just every big name is in it. And the more recent one, the last one I can remember is The Departed.
Okay.
It's an ensemble cast. Is this like the major reason we go to see this movie? Did this hook us, the ensemble cast?
First of all, I mean, once you have Danny DeVito playing the part of
Martin Weir,
right, and it's strange. It's so when you have Danny DeVito playing into his shortness, people want to come to the theater.
It's an interesting hook.
Yeah.
The movie is called Get Shorty. Danny DeVito is the star of this fictional movie they're making. He's short, and we don't really know what Get Shorty means until really the end of the movie,
right,
so to speak.
So I mean, he does play the loan shark. So he plays he plays John Travolta's character.
Right.
So and then throughout the movie, these other sort of mobsters are trying to get John Travolta's character, which in turn would make, Danny DeVito's character, Shorty, Get Shorty.
Right.
It makes sense.
It takes a while to get there, which by in part, this whole movie takes a while to get anywhere. It takes a long time for Chili Palmer to even get to LA.
Yeah.
And then it takes us a long time to really follow the path of this plot. Like, I've seen this movie 20 times. I think I understand it now. Like, just as far as all the moving pieces. It is a lot going on. There's a lot of, like, wheels in motion.
Very, like, thousands.
Thousands of wheels.
Hundreds of thousands upon millions.
And I think, but I will say by and large, I think they pull it off. I think Sonnenfeld and then the writer, which we'll get into, this is a novel, an adapted novel.
Right.
I think it's pulled off. Like, I don't ever feel totally
lost
in the movie. I don't know who everybody is, what they're all doing, but I feel like I'm still on the ride.
Right.
In this movie.
And it's entertaining enough to, where you are lost, it doesn't lose you. And there's never a dull moment, really. All the actors bring their A game. It's a funny movie.
Yeah, it's thoroughly entertaining. It's a Hollywood movie. Like, Hollywood loves making movies about Hollywood. Yeah. And this is it. Like, even if we think Oscars, like, what movies win the Oscars? Argo is a movie about a fake movie. Wins the Oscar. Way back when, there's a movie called The Player, which is about a movie business.
La La Land.
La La Land is another one. L.A. Confidential, an L.A. movie about L.A.
Yeah.
These are movies that the Academy obviously likes. Now, this one's a comedy.
They're sucking their own dick.
They love it. They love stuff like that.
Exactly.
So, let's go back to 95, though. When did you see this movie, and what's your reaction to it?
It was probably one of those blockbuster rentals for me.
Yeah.
I liked John Travolta as a kid. What's that movie with the baby that talks?
Look Who's Talking.
After Look Who's Talking, I was a Travolta. And then also Face Off. Face Off, I was a huge fan. So like yeah, I kind of got to know Travolta through the rentals.
Mm-hmm.
I just probably watched it. I probably didn't watch it all the way through, but you know, it's one of those movies where you see as a kid and you kind of know the gist of it, but then you watch it again as an adult and it's like, oh,
This is entertaining.
yeah. Like so we reviewed Behind Enemy Lines. I rewatched that movie as an adult. I was like, damn, that was a piece of shit.
Yeah, but you were also texting me like that you liked it, and then your next text would be like, "This movie's terrible."
No,
you were going back and forth on that one.
No, but I liked it like as a movie for the series. Again, like I'm being harsh. I don't think it was a complete piece of shit.
Yeah,
It
I
had
liked
its
it.
merits. But this one, I rewatched it and I liked it better, like way better. I appreciated it as an adult.
As much as going on like in the plot, a lot is going on with the actors that are in this movie. Because I didn't see this movie in the theater either. This was one of those cable movies where someone tells me, "Hey, did you ever see Get Shorty?" And I go, "No, I never seen it." And then it's like on Comedy Central at 10 p.m. at night. And I'm like, "Hey, I'm gonna watch this. The last 20 minutes that I watched were pretty good. I need to finally rent this movie."
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those movies you saw at Blockbuster Video. You saw the cover of the movie
Right.
for a solid year. And
it's
then
like,
you
what's
find,
this?
like, what is this? They're on the cover. They're all wearing
Yeah.
sunglasses.
Yeah.
What is this movie?
Once you get to like, so if a movie grabs you, and then once you flip that back of the cassette, and then you start looking, then you start reading, then you're in.
That's when you get hooked.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what I was going to say with the moving parts, like with the actors, there's a lot of moving parts in this movie because we kind of have relationships with all these actors already. Gene Hackman, Rene Russo from like Lethal Weapon and stuff we already know. Danny DeVito, of course. And Travolta is now hot off of Pulp Fiction the year before because Travolta was dead in the water.
Right.
He was doing
He was
Look Who's
pretty much
Talking in Christmas movies. And now Pulp Fiction reignites him. Here's his run from Pulp Fiction, 1994. 1995, White Man's Burden. I have no recollection of that movie. I don't know if it was good. Get Shorty, 95. Broken Arrow, 96. And then another year later, Face Off. And just Travolta's just
Back to
Hall of
back
Fame.
John Woos.
He's Hall of Fame status
Right.
at that point. So the Travolta piece of it is interesting. Also, it took me like 5 minutes to put aside that his voice still sounds like Vinnie Barbarino in this movie.
Yeah.
He's doing kind of New York accent, but he sounds like
Gabagool.
he sounds like Look Who's Talking Travolta / Vinnie Barbarino in this movie. So I Travolta is just on a heater at this time in 1995. Just like, hey, I'm the coolest guy, and essentially Get Shorty, he's Superman in this movie.
Yeah.
He does not put a foot wrong in
Yeah.
this whole movie. Like, whatever situation, you know he's going to be fine.
Right.
It's an interesting role for, like, the hero.
Yeah.
You're just like, this guy is the guy in this movie.
Right. Yeah, he never a misstep in that movie in Get Shorty for Travolta.
Mm-hmm. Which makes the sequel, which I'm going to erase from my memory, Be Cool, which makes the sequel so bad. Because we already know, like, he can do no wrong. And we're just going to watch another movie of him do no wrong?
Right.
It's so silly. It's really a rough one. It should not have been made.
Well, I didn't even know that there was a sequel. That movie is one of those that should just stand on its own.
Yeah. He's the same character. He's still Chili Palmer. Now Chili Palmer's getting to the music business. And it's just full of celebrity cameos. Steven Tyler of Aerosmith has like a 7-minute scene. It's rough. There's a lot of rough stuff.
That hurt to hear.
And Be Cool. I mean, that was a paycheck. Had to be.
Be Cool. Wow. I mean, once you make a really good movie, like that movie was a box office hit.
Be Cool? Get Shorty.
Right.
Get Shorty did well.
So it's like, hey, let's keep going, baby.
Yeah, they can't say no.
No.
At that point.
Greedy fucking Hollywood.
Greedy. And then we have the Barry Sonnenfeld aspect
Right.
of this, where this is one of his early movies, and then he goes on to do Men in Black, Wild Wild West, which was a bomb. That was like trying to milk the Will Smith thing, like, hey, we did great in Men in Black.
Right.
Let's do the Western. And it just didn't make any sense.
I know they're trying to get you to play this character named Neo, but have you read the script for Wild Wild West?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, damn.
It didn't work. It was just a mess.
that's just a glitch in the universe where Will Smith chose Wild Wild West over the Matrix.
Is that he did? You're right.
I don't think it's so much that he chose one over the other, in so much like that he did not like the pitch of the Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a bad pitch.
Hadn't he already done Independence Day before Matrix?
Yeah,
he had. So I think I read this in the Will Smith, like he has like this biography where he laid out his career, where he had to do TV, comedy, action, aliens. And I think he had done the aliens, and then he was working his way into the Western.
Oh.
So he had this plan for himself.
Oh, okay.
But Wild Wild West, I don't think fit into that plan. That was rough.
Yeah. From what I've read or I've heard some sort of excerpt where the Wachowski brothers at the time, now sisters, had a really bad pitch for Will Smith. So they got him in a room and they pitched the movie, and by all accounts, it was like, so here's the idea, Will. It's all the action sequences are in slow motion. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much what they pitched, and he was like, yeah, that sounds stupid.
Yeah. And it is weird because at the time, too, when The Matrix was being advertised in previews and it was like starring Keanu Reeves, we were all like, Keanu Reeves?
Yeah.
From Speed? From Point Break?
Yeah.
Can he do this? Like, we were skeptical.
Because it's a sci-fi movie.
Yeah, and there was like dialogue and like, what's it going to sound like? We didn't know if he could pull it off.
Right.
At the time. So that was an interesting sliding doors moment that Keanu Reeves goes in that movie. Will Smith goes to that movie directed by Barry Sonnenfeld. But I think the big part of this movie, along with the ensemble cast, is the filmmaking of it. Like the music in this movie, the clothing in this music. You feel like you're in this world, and it's an LA movie too. Like when I saw this movie before I ever lived here in LA, I was like, I want to live there. Right. That looks like fun. You go drive around and eat at cool restaurants, and you can talk. You punch people in the face, and that looks like fun. Yeah. So I think that's done really well. The setting of it doesn't get spoken about, but I find this to be an LA movie, almost where I want more LA in it. Like I want some street names. I want some neighborhoods of it. You know, we see a lot of LA-ness in the movie where it's like movie talk, and the thing with Martin Weir's girlfriend where she's like, where he says her name and she goes, oh, it's Nikki now. She's changed her name. She's dyed her hair. Like there's like LA-ness in all these little silly ways. Like Martin sits facing west so he can see his billboard. Right. All this silly stuff.
This narcissism and vanity.
To it as well. And it got me thinking about LA movies in general. Like LA as a setting. There's a few cities that can pull this off. LA, New York, Miami, sometimes Chicago, sometimes yeah, can be just essentially where the city is its own character, and someone like me who never lived in LA at the time gets it. We're like, oh, that's what happens in LA. Oh, that's what happens in New York. Type of thing. I think that really works, and I wish there was a little bit more. I almost wish there was more LA stuff.
It's almost like that story could have taken place, like you said, like in New Jersey or something.
Well, I was watching it, and like the scene with Bo, the Delroy Lindo character, where he's at his house. I'm like, I wonder where that house is. Yeah. You know, I live here in LA now, and I'm like, where is that house? What street is it on? Is that Malibu? Is that the hills? Where is that? Like, I want to know the little tidbits. Right. Of the geography of it. How does it hit you as an LA movie to you? Is that even something that stands out to you?
Well, it does, yeah. Like you said, the city is like a character in a sense, yeah. But it seems to be like almost like like in the Beverly Hills area, like like more like west.
Yeah, I'd imagine like the restaurants and stuff were Beverly Hills, West Hollywood. So
yeah, I mean, and then a lot of the movie takes place in... No, I shouldn't say a lot, but there's some scenes take place in, Las Vegas?
That's right, yeah. They go from Miami to Las Vegas, and eventually then it stays in L.A. A lot of airport. A lot of L.A. airport.
But it's almost like there's more L.A. talk than actual L.A., like you said, where like kind of like the... sort of like the production, the actual like stage production, like the office of... Gene Hackman's character, like the producer room that we've seen 1,000 times with all his fucking movie posters everywhere and props. So a lot of that is,
Yeah, I just want.
establish
Yeah,
the
it would be
city
fun
more.
to see. Yeah, some of the streets and stuff like that. Just a little stuff like as a moviegoer where you're like, oh, we went there on vacation.
Yeah.
You know, like we all turn into like our dads. Where like you drive somewhere and your dad goes, hey, we went there.
Yeah.
My
Right.
dad has done that for years. We go to Universal Studios, and then Universal Studios is in a commercial. He'll shout out, "We were there!"
We were there. We were there.
Dad
GT,
move.
baby.
Dad move. Yeah, that's right. We did the tram tour. You guys remember that, right?
Of course.
Let's do some stats on the movie, unless you have any other big picture thoughts on it. Just
Big picture.
well, the big picture before I do the stats is like this movie did well. I don't think it was a blockbuster though. Why wasn't this a blockbuster?
And you know what? For a rated R movie, like especially from the '90s, you expect a lot more from it. No nudity, no very little violence.
Well, this was R.
Yeah. Oh fuck. Dennis Farina is dropping
That's
F-bombs
true.
left and right.
Half of Dennis Farina's dialogue is just the word "fuck."
I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it was
an
R. You're right. Yeah, there's like 27 fucks in it.
But
The
yeah,
last line in the movie is "fuck you, fuckball."
yeah. There's a certain there's something that you want to get out of an R-rated movie, like violence,
Yeah.
nudity, sex,
Movie
So-
could have thrown in nudity in this movie somewhere.
unsexy R.
Unsexy
Language.
R. Just pure language.
Yeah, like when I would go to Blockbuster as a kid, I'd look for the R-rated movies, but I want all of it. I want
Yeah.
sexuality, I want violence, I want terror,
Oh.
and I want rape.
Rape.
I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. You can cut that out.
We'll cut all this out.
Yeah, but yeah, there's a certain sort of
That's right. There would be those codes
yeah,
at the
yeah,
bottom of the movies, and you would see SC was sexual content,
right, yeah,
and N was nudity or something like that, and you could base your decision off of that.
yeah,
You'd be like, yes, yeah, this movie needed a Hollywood party
Mhm.
scene where like maybe some coke was being done.
Right.
Like Travolta tries to go to the bathroom and like two girls are doing coke. He's like, oh, excuse me.
yeah.
And like we could have seen some boobs or something.
Um,
Might as well. We're already at R.
right, yeah, like go all the way.
Hollywood party would have been good.
There's nothing worse. Well, back then as a kid, like when I'd pick up a box that rated R for some language,
Mhm.
like you're really gonna give me an R for a couple F-bombs?
Not enough.
Get out of here.
I need more. Let's do the stats. Here are the stats for Get Shorty, released in October 20th, 1995. The budget was $30 million. It made $115 million. Directed by Barry Sonnenfeld. The movie is 105 minutes long. Really tight 105 minutes.
Flew by.
Yeah, it's a really tight movie. 88% on Rotten Tomatoes with the critics, 70% with the audience. It's based on the novel about a Miami loan shark. Here's some interesting stats. Warren Beatty, Dustin Hoffman, and Michael Keaton were all offered the role of Chili Palmer. All declined the role. I can't really imagine anybody in this role. Warren Beatty,
Other than
maybe, but he seems too old.
Too old.
Dustin Hoffman, not intimidating.
Doesn't have
I
the
don't see that at
sort
all.
of the machismo factor
Yeah.
that Travolta has.
Right. Like, I get that Rene Russo would be attracted to John Travolta.
Right.
I don't think she would be attracted to Dustin Hoffman.
Right.
I don't see that.
Keaton
And then
maybe.
Keaton would be a maybe. I think he's a good
Right.
enough actor where I'd like to see him try.
Yeah, the Keaton I can see playing. I can see Keaton playing almost like any role. To be quite honest.
Yeah. He's got that over the top, like
Uh-huh.
energetic, charismatic personality. I'd like to see his version of it.
With you. Right.
Because
Yeah.
I feel like Travolta's playing Travolta
right.
in this movie. I feel like he's the guy from Saturday Night Fever. I feel like
Right.
he's the guy from Look Who's Talking. And he's almost a version of Vincent from Pulp Fiction
Yeah.
in this movie too. So I don't know how you do any better than John Travolta. And he's right off of Pulp Fiction. It's like, let's see
Right
this
off.
Travolta in another movie. Let's
Right
go.
off. Yeah.
A couple other potentials. Samuel Jackson was up for the part of Bo, which easily he could have done.
Okay, so I actually was gonna look that up, but I was just like I didn't want to be too. But yeah, I was like that they're really banking off of this Pulp Fiction wave, and I was like I can see
they would have
them.
been together again. That might have been
Because that would have been, it wouldn't have been like advertised, but like, you know, as the audience would have been like, hey, look, the team's back together.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. It would have been a little off-putting, like, oh, there's his partner from Pulp Fiction again. I thought that Delroy Lindo did a great job with this mobster guy who's kind of a step behind Chili Palmer the whole time. Yeah. He's trying to act tough.
Everyone's a step behind
Everybody's a step behind him. And then Steve Buscemi and Matthew McConaughey were up for the role of Ronnie, which was a pretty small part. Maybe it would have been written bigger if it was either of those two guys, but Buscemi could have been Ronnie.
Ronnie played by the Uncle Rico actor.
Yeah, which I didn't know.
Right.
I didn't think that was him at all.
Yeah, then so he's like balding, so that kind of is off-putting. Yeah, I was like, hey, that's Uncle Rico. What happened to his luscious hair? I guess he wears a wig.
It was a wig.
Which is not shocking at all because it's just a perfect set of hair in Napoleon Dynamite. But
McConaughey would have gone too over the top if he was Ronnie.
Steve Buscemi, I can see that going down.
Yeah, it would take a little bit more of a funny aspect, I think.
But he was perfect. He was perfect as I don't know the actor's name that plays Uncle Rico. But Uncle Rico is perfect as Ronnie.
He's definitely just Uncle Rico.
Sorry, guys.
Straight up Uncle Rico. So those are the stats of the movie. And now to the awards for the movie. We've got some special awards to give out. A lot of them for this movie. So let's start from the top. Favorite scene. I have 3 nominees. I have when Escobar comes to L.A. and to get his money in Yayo, and he has a little limousine talk with Bo. I thought that's so funny. Yeah. It's shot really well, where Bo is tucked in tight between the 2 henchmen, and the other guy's talking about how they're staying at the Universal Sheraton, and they're going to go... It's like, we're going to go to the Universal Sheraton. We're going to see the shark. We're going to take the tour. We're going to do that new... What's the ride he mentions? We're going to take the new such-and-such ride. And Bo's like, oh, nice.
Yeah, oh, nice.
like
nice. Genuinely, like, oh, nice.
I love that scene, and it's not very significant to the movie, but I thought it's done so well.
Right.
The final scene I like a lot, where where he turns around, where Dennis Farina turns around, and then you see the big reveal that they're making the movie, and it's Harvey Keitel, is cool. But I think number 1 all the way is Martin Weir giving the look. In the house where Chili Palmer and Rene Russo go to talk to him about the role.
Right, yeah, that's mine as well.
And he's doing the whole acting thing where he's like,
yeah.
Look at me.
What?
What I'm thinking is, you're mine. I fucking own you. But what I'm not doing is feeling one way or another about it. You see, you're not a person to me. You're an entry in my book. That's all. You're just a guy who owes me money.
All right. How about this?
Ooh, wow.
Oh.
Not bad. Not bad. No wonder you're Martin Weir.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I think of you, asshole.
He's trying to manifest something that doesn't currently exist in himself. Where he's like,
it's so meta. It's done so well, and it's got that tongue-in-cheek thing where like we all, as an audience, are almost like looking down on the self-absorbed actor.
Right.
Because Rene Russo is like annoyed with this.
Yeah.
She's like, oh my god.
She's like, cut it. I think she says even like cut it out or something. Like when he's like kind of trying to transform himself.
And then he pulls it off in the scene where he does a look that looks good. And he's like, what's the acquisition of money?
Yeah.
Just respect.
Look at me, like I'm looking at you.
Right. Chili Palmer
own
does
you.
Look.
Yeah.
Right. Chili Palmer does, I think he says 100 times in this movie, look at me.
Yeah.
And he does the look at me. And somehow it doesn't get old in this movie. So my favorite scene is the Martin Weir in the house.
Same.
From start to finish, where he pulls up and he sees Nikki, and then he goes in there and then they do the whole thing. All the way to the end where he's like, Chili, is this your ride?
Yeah.
Well, it is the Cadillac of minivans. And he likes it. He likes just Chili Palmer can do no wrong in this movie.
No, yeah. Yeah, that's my favorite scene too.
Did you have any other nominees?
No, I didn't write any down. I mean, I could probably come up with one. But yeah, that scene just it's from like you said, from start to finish. It's I like it. I like how he does his second take. And he's just like, okay, look at me now. And he's like, so are you squinting? What's the matter? You can't see me?
What are you, sleeping?
Yeah, what are you sleeping?
You gonna go to bed? It's so great.
It's just funny, like how like he challenges him as an actor, and he's just like a fucking loan shark.
Right. Which, I mean, again, I don't know anything about Hollywood or movie making production, but I don't think it's that far off.
No.
Guy wants to make a thing.
Yeah.
You come here and you just start putting pieces together.
Exactly.
And you're like, I know this person. All right, let's go over there. Let's get this relationship going. All right, let's move this piece around. All right, let's go to this guy's house. Let's eat lunch at this place, and we'll talk to this guy. It's just a really funny LA take on LA movie making. And let's go talk to this actor and and then this loan shark Chili Palmer.
Yeah.
He's gonna like give him the business.
Yeah,
He's like,
just,
what are you, sleepy?
Yeah. Just feeds into like their like vanity and insecurity, and then just gets whatever he wants out of them.
Mm-hmm. Next award, the WTF moment of the movie. So something memorable, something that stood out. This was a hard one for me because this movie doesn't, for some reason, doesn't have like a moment. It almost feels like this movie flows.
Mm-hmm.
Even though there's a million settings and there's a ton of dialogue. So I just went with when Chili Palmer finally gets to LA. Like, because it takes like 10 or 15 minutes on screen for him to finally get to LA. Like, I'm rewatching it. I'm like, he's still in Miami? Now we're in New York? We got to do the Momo thing?
Right.
And now he's in the barber shop? So once he gets to LA, I'm like, okay, the movie has started.
Right.
We're in. Now I know what this movie's about.
I had a weird. So my what the fuck moment is, like you said, yeah. There's not many like moments that really are that jar you.
I give a little bit to where he throws Bear down the stairs.
Yeah.
Because that's the first time we see Chili get violent. You
Right.
know, where he like physically puts hands on somebody, where he's like, oh, he kicks him in the nuts, or he grabs him in the nuts and throws him on the stairs.
Right.
Like, whoa, okay, Chili Palmer's capable of violence. Maybe I'll give that like a nominee as well.
Yeah. So like he does punch. What's his name?
Oh yeah, that's right at the
Bones.
beginning.
But
He
I
punches
mean,
Bones, that's
but
right.
it is kind of a ramp up when he does that to James Gandolfini, because that's like in a public setting, and it's like it's a 2v1, and it's like two dudes that like want to fuck you up too. So that's kind of like being like I'm gonna fucking be like bossing people around, kind of.
Yeah, and he's super intimidating in that scene because he throws Bear down the stairs, and then Delroy Lindo, Bo is like, he has this look of like fear
Right.
on his face, and he tries to like cover it. He's like, "You don't know me. You
Yeah.
only think you do."
Yeah.
But you could tell, like, he's like, dude, what is Chili Palmer capable of?
Dude, yeah.
So-
You don't think you know? Yeah, that was a good
Funny
quote.
line. Like, I didn't put it down as one of my favorite quotes, but it was close.
Yeah.
I liked it. I liked it in there. So, yeah, that's a good WTF moment. I forgot that he does punch Dennis Farina, Ray Bones, in the face early in the movie. Just like funny, typical, like, simple story that just grows and grows and grows. This is all based of Ray Barboni taking Chili's jacket
Right.
from the restaurant, and he tries to get it back, and now this whole beef has been started,
Right.
and then we're off and running.
Yeah, that's funny, huh? That's what's. Who took my jacket?
And then, I mean, we were talking about clothing earlier. Like, the clothing is in this movie so defined.
Right.
And it starts by him losing his jacket. Delroy Lindo is wearing, like, these bright, perfectly mid-90s colors.
Right.
There's the scene where he's wearing, like, a purple shirt that goes down to his ankles, or goes down to his knees. Chili Palmer has the leather jacket and, like, not a button-up suit shirt, but, like, a polo.
Yeah.
The whole movie. Harry Zim has like the cheesy director turtlenecks,
Right.
and stuff like that. They're very defined. It's really funny how the clothing all matches everybody perfectly as well.
Yeah.
What about the next award? Give this movie an award. I went with this movie could win an Oscar, and I went for the director. I think this is a director moment movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I give this movie Best Director for Barry Sonnenfeld. I should have looked up who won in 95 Best Director.
95.
95, I don't know that movie year.
Huh.
I don't think it was Get Shorty, but I'd give it.
It should have been.
It should have been. This is a movie that all came together. Like, so many ensemble cast. Like, it's too many. We don't know which is the main character. There's a lot of storylines going on. This one worked. And it ends, like, in a really funny comedic way where it's like, okay, the movie's over, but, like, this life is still going on.
Yeah.
You know, they walk out talking about how the movie isn't working. And somehow it's wrapped up. What do you got for give the movie an Oscar? Give the movie one award.
So I kind of agree with you. I mean, I had the screenwriter, the story, as the Oscar winner, so to speak.
That's good. And would you give it an Oscar? Golden Globes?
I would give it like best
People's
adapted.
Choice?
In fact, I think it was nominated for best adapted.
Best adapted?
I don't know. I should have looked that up. I don't know why I didn't look that up.
It's very interesting because this movie really kicked off that style of movie making, that fast dialogue, those cuts, that music. Like I was talking about this. I was under the assumption Barry Sonnenfeld did the Ocean series.
Right.
I was like, this looks like Ocean's 11, but it's not. That's Soderbergh, but that was in the style of it. You know, Barry Sonnenfeld goes on to direct Out of Sight, another movie that's heavily edited, directed, music, flashbacks. That style of movie really kicked off.
Right.
That sort of storytelling. Ocean's is one, and
same. So just to give a quick background, so the movie is based on this novel by Elmore Leonard, and then it's funny that you mentioned like this sort of fast-paced dialogue because, well, not only did Quentin Tarantino adapt one of Elmore Leonard's novels, it's a Rum Punch that turned into Jackie Brown. But he also, like in interviews, he credits Elmer Leonard for his like dialogue in his novels. Like it influences writing insofar as dialogue goes. So a lot. I mean, it's a weird. It's a full circle. Yeah, like we get like the Tarantino that we love, the dialogue that we love is like from Elmore Leonard's novels. So full circle.
with the dialogue, what I like about this movie is like I really don't feel like a word is wasted.
No.
In this dialogue, where like
no throwaway lines.
Nothing at all. Everything is poignant. Where like Pulp Fiction, in the style of Pulp Fiction, everything is mundane. Like it's dialogue about mundane things. A foot massage, a burger. Is that that big kahuna? And you like wait for something to happen in Pulp Fiction. So it's just the opposite. Like Pulp Fiction will like really like get you on the edge of your seat and almost frustrated with the dialogue. Whereas like something like this is like everything has a punch to it.
Right.
Like the look at me, or like I'm the one telling you how it is.
Right.
Like there's nothing wasted in the movie at all. It's weird how much of an impact it has.
And then the movie itself, along with the rest of Leonard's novels, are like really plot driven too. I mean, there's character development, but there's always the plot is always moving forward.
The only dialogue I would be critical of, I didn't fully understand, is that Bette Midler scene. Where Bette Midler comes to see Harry Zinn and she kind of throws herself at him.
Oh.
She's like, you don't want me to leave, do you? I didn't fully understand why that's needed in the movie.
I think it's
who
because...
she was. I was confused by that.
Oh, okay. So that's actually, his writer, so you know how he produced a bunch of like...
Right, he was the producer.
Like a bunch of like freak show movies, so to speak. That's his writer's widow.
Oh, okay. His writer died.
And then he wrote... So you remember in the beginning of the movie where he said he's going to make his masterpiece movie? That's going to be like... what's the name of the... whatever. Some sort of like classical movie that he's going to buy for $500,000. So he's like approaching her to like he's trying to sweeten the deal, so to speak.
I see.
Because she owns the rights to that story.
Okay, I didn't fully get it. Why is she like throwing herself at him? Like, why is she wanting to?
Because she's horny, Pat.
She's horny. She's a horny widow.
Yeah.
Horny widow. Yeah, she just kind of comes in. She's like the little vamp.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to want to get with her.
I guess.
He's like, all right.
You don't want this, baby? All right.
He can't help himself.
Yeah.
The Harry Zinn character alone might be worth a movie in itself. There's that
That
scene
should've
where
been
he's
the
sleeping
sequel.
with his head on the desk, and it's clearly just the afternoon, and he's got a drink on the table.
Oh man.
I think Gene Hackman like made that character pop.
Yeah.
He's just a sleazy producer guy, makes shit movies. Somehow has
Yeah.
carved out a career.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
extremely difficult business, and he's just sort of like backpedaling and falling ass backwards into things for his
Yeah.
entire life. And him sleeping on the desk is great. I love when he calls Ray Bones and he tries to kind of do Chili Palmer impression.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What? Well, if you ever got out of Miami, you fuckball, you'd know this is who's telling you." Like he just kind of like I'm gonna do what Chili did, and the same thing will happen for me.
Yeah.
Really funny.
Calls his bluff hard. Gets it like the next day.
And then I do love how Ray Bones does the opposite to him. He's like, "Oh, look at you, huh?
Yeah.
Well, why don't you take a little look at this?" And just a phone to the face. And how about a little peek at this? And just throws him around the office doing the lines against him.
That is like, yeah, one of the funniest scenes. Yeah, he just starts throwing him against all like his movie memorabilia.
We're in agreement that the award for this movie would be your behind the scenes director and writer type of person. And even throw one for costume design. I thought they did a good job
Yeah.
with costume design in this movie. Even down to
Set
the
design.
sweater V-neck that Martin Weir
Right.
wears is so perfect. Just a douchey, self-absorbed piece of clothes. What would that person wear?
Yeah.
A sweater V-neck.
Yeah, there's not many people that can pull off the sweater V-neck, and let me tell you, he's not one of them.
Right. Well, I didn't know where to put this question because it's not a plot hole. But I was curious about Chili Palmer. He's this loan shark. He goes to LA and he's in love with movies, but like he has this knowledge of movies because multiple times in the movie he's like, "Oh, that's like in the movie Rio Bravo where he did this." Like he has this knowledge of old movies.
Yeah.
So I'm like, where did this come from? And it led me to think like, what do you think Chili Palmer's favorite movie was? Like if you were to ask him like, "Hey, what's your favorite movie?" What do you think he would say?
Huh, that's a good question. So he mentions Rio Bravo, so I gotta imagine he has like an
He goes
affinity
to
for
see
westerns.
that. Yeah, he goes to see that one movie at the small theater.
Yeah.
He invites Rene Russo to it. I forgot the name of it. Oh, something evil.
Maybe like maybe like the Dollar Trilogy, maybe like Good, Bad, and the Ugly.
Touch of Evil. Oh, you think he'd be a Western fan, huh?
Yeah, because he like with just the way he acts, he does kind of fancy himself like the man with no name, kind of just like lone gunman type. Maybe he's like into like Clint Eastwood, or maybe like he's into like the Dirty Dozen. But yeah, once he mentions Rio Bravo, I was like, oh, he's into westerns.
You went Westerns.
Yeah.
I went with I Bet He Loves Chinatown. Classic,
Oh.
another LA movie. Turn of like the movie making style.
Yeah.
Where we had this different sort of way of acting and directing. So I bet Chili Palmer's favorite movie is Chinatown.
Yeah, huh?
I wonder if we did a deep dive on what Chili Palmer likes in a movie,
Yeah.
what we'd say. Or he's like one of these just cinephiles, just loves every movie.
Could be.
It's interesting that character usually is douchey. Like you always knew that person in college or that friend who was like overly into movies and had movie knowledge. And at some point it would turn annoying. Really?
I don't know that person at all.
Really? I had like 5 of those people in my life
Yeah.
in the college days who were like, we get it, you saw Reservoir Dogs.
Right.
We get it, you put Pulp Fiction poster on your dorm room. Or like, yes, we all saw Train Spotting. Like that guy
Yeah.
with all the movie knowledge.
The Reservoir Dog poster, huh?
Reservoir Dog poster, Pulp Fiction, Train Spotting. Swingers was a big movie poster from the 90s.
You can always tell someone that's like wants to talk movies way more than they should what's your favorite movie? It's between Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction.
Right.
Okay. What's your favorite color? You want to go out for like to stop any
Stop
film
right there.
cover? Yeah,
You
fuck. You do not want to be told how Quentin Tarantino struggled early in his life.
How he
and
used to work at a video rental place. And
Yeah.
You watch the Chinese action movies first. Like, we all know the story.
Yeah.
But in those days, I guess we didn't.
Oh, really? His job at the movie rental place was his film school? Yeah, okay. I've never heard that story before.
I never knew that.
Give me a fucking break.
Who would be, like, for the young person today entering college who's really into movies, like, who's that director that kind of speaks for that generation? Because Tarantino was that 90s indie director, and of course it turns into Paul Thomas Anderson, Wes Anderson.
I think it's all those directors.
Yeah. Well, is there one today though? Is there a director?
Like a new one.
Yeah. Do we go out and see a director today? I don't think we do.
I mean, people are like really into what's the name of the dude that made Damien Chazelle that made La La Land.
Mm-hmm.
He's made a couple. He made Whiplash.
Yeah. I would say in the theater world that Lin-Manuel, what's that guy who did Hamilton?
Yeah.
He did Hamilton. That guy's on the lips of a lot of people in the theater world. Like, oh, what's he doing next? I'm gonna see it.
Yeah, there's just not that many directors that are like pumping out movies like they used to, and then B, that are making really good movies. They all have their duds. Mm-hmm. But I think people. I mean, I'm talking out of pocket, but I think a lot of people like clutch on to like those Tarantino, Spike Jonze.
Yeah. Spike Jonze was one in that area too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Spike Jonze had a couple movies, and it was like, what's this guy doing next?
Yeah.
He would have been in that.
Things are.
He would have been in that world of like, such and such directed this movie. We gotta check it out. His next one. Kevin Smith was another one. It was like that guy. A new movie come out. Like I knew 10 people that were like, we're going to see that opening night.
Yeah.
Type of thing. I don't know if we have that.
We don't really, because a lot of people are just watching like TV series.
TV is big now.
Yeah.
TV has become.
It's taken over the box office.
TV has taken over. It's interesting that 90s era of movies was like the height of stars, blockbuster movies, of course, because we had theaters. Mm-hmm. But, and then the director, the rise of the indie movie.
And then just like, not just a director specifically or a writer, but people are like, if I had to, like, what people are going out, young people are going out to see in the theaters, or just anything from A24. Because that's just like kind of like almost like a funnel for our like the young visionary directors nowadays. Robert Eggers, what's the dude that did Ari Aster, that did Hereditary and Beau is Afraid. So just
shift in the movie viewing process these days. We didn't talk about Rene Russo too much. Yet.
And for good reason. No, I'm just kidding.
Why?
I'm just joking.
Because she's in this movie, and I don't know if it's her acting style or what, but she plays annoyed in every single role she's in.
Right.
She's always a challenge to the male counterpart. Like in Lethal Weapon, like Mel Gibson's always hitting on her, and she doesn't take the bait. Yeah. She's always difficult with people, and she's always annoyed. Like she's annoyed with Martin Weir in this movie.
Right.
She's kind of like telling Harry how, like, oh yeah, you can't get this movie made. And same in this movie. And then she ends up with Chili Palmer at the end of it.
Yeah, it's almost like, what do you want?
Right, like what?
What's gonna make you happy?
Right, but I think that's what she does.
Yeah.
I think that's what she's good at, and why she's in this role. She is an interesting one. She's in this movie. She's in Ransom. Did you ever see Ransom?
I did, with Mel Gibson.
Yeah, one of her better roles. She can do some good yelling.
Yeah.
In that movie. You know her from Lethal Weapon, of course. Thomas Crown Affair.
Didn't she come out in some sort of guerrilla movie? Am I tripping?
Outbreak.
Is it Outbreak?
Outbreak with Dustin Hoffman.
No. But there's another like, whatever. I can't remember. But like she just, I have something in my memory like her like on the cover of like a VHS like box set
with a gorilla.
Yeah, I don't know.
We were into like primates in the 90s. Outbreak, Congo.
Was she? Did she
wasn't in Congo. I think Laura Linney was Congo.
Oh, okay.
Outbreak, Congo.
I don't remember. Yeah.
We liked primates in those days. Yeah, she's interesting.
Still do.
I like her. I wonder who else of an actress was up for this role.
Michelle Pfeiffer. She plays like Michelle Pfeiffer in Scarface for me. It's almost like she's emulating her from Scarface.
In this movie,
yeah.
You think she's taking off?
Because it's like she's never happy. And then you have like the protagonist, if you can call it. He's more like an anti-hero. he's like chasing after her love. She's so reluctant. She reminds me, what's her name in Scarface? Michelle Pfeiffer?
Her character? I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember. It's something weird with an A.
What she does a good job of is I do feel like she looks and sounds like a B-movie actress.
Yeah.
I do think that works with her in this. I don't know if she's doing that on purpose, but I think it works. We're like, yeah, this would be a B-movie actress. She's annoyed.
Yeah.
She's getting work, but she doesn't like the work.
Yeah,
she knows all the ins and outs of the business, and she's cynical about it.
She just can't land that role.
Yeah.
The director's telling her that she doesn't have
She's
the emotional aptitude.
She's a little past the age range. It's just right. She's probably playing 40 to 45 in this movie, maybe.
Yeah.
So she's of that role. Like it worked, and almost like we needed a line or two where someone degrades her career. It was like, yeah, she could have if she blank, or like
if she had fucked the right movie producer.
Right, or she could have said something like that. She could have said, yeah, if I had slept with such and such,
not you.
I could have
Gene
got.
Hackman, yeah.
Right, could have been. I liked her in this role, but yeah, she always is a little of a challenge.
Right.
When I watch. All right, it's time. Best line reading, aka best quote, aka I want to hear your best impression from this movie.
Mm-hmm.
This movie is highly quotable. It's weird nothing made it to the lexicon of everyday talk from this movie. Like, there's not a line we say from this movie like an everyday type of movie like Lethal Weapon. We all know, like, I'm too old for this shit type of thing. This movie doesn't have one. Maybe that's why it's a Did You Ever See?
Right. Yeah.
But watching the movie, there's a ton of good quotes in this movie.
Right.
I got a bunch. I don't know how many you wrote down, but I'm just gonna rattle these off, and then I'll do my quote. First one, it's the Oldsmobile silhouette, the Cadillac minivans. I can hear you, man, but where the fuck are you?
Yeah.
Touch of Evil is playing if you're interested. Watch Charlton Heston be a Mexican. Sometimes you do your best work when you have a gun to your head. Who the fuck is Momo? Jesus Christ with these names.
Yeah.
IGIE, fuck you. Are all my quotes as well. What were your favorite quotes of the movie?
So my favorite quote is Dennis Farina. So it's like towards the end of the movie where Travolta he scams him into falling in, like, so there's the $300,000 or $500,000 that's in a locker at the airport. Mm-hmm. And then Dennis Farina just has a gun pointed right at John Travolta's head. He's like, you must, you know that you're the dumbest fuck I've ever met in my whole life.
Dennis Farina thinks this movie is about him.
Yeah.
Like, he thinks he's the star of this movie.
He just calls him a dumb fuck in that scene like about at least 5 times. You know that you're the dumbest fuck I've ever met in my whole life.
All right, are you ready for your best line reading?
Sure.
Well, obviously I can put "Look at Me" in here.
Yeah.
But my best line reading is gonna be Martin Weir gives the look, but this isn't the good one. This is the one before he does it correctly, and Chili Palmer just goes, "You sleepy? You want to go to bed?"
Yeah.
And then he kind of cracks him. He's like, "Okay."
Yeah.
How about this?
What are you telling me? That you're sleepy? That you want to go to bed?
All right, wait. Okay.
That's my line reading. What's yours? What do you like?
Jeez, so I think I kind of read, my Dennis Farina line was my line reading. But I can just reenact a scene.
Give me a scene reenactment.
I'll give you a scene. So it's like when he's like, all right, so Danny DeVito. It's like when he first approaches Danny DeVito to with the movie idea, and he's like, yeah, then you'll play the loan shark, and then Danny DeVito's like, oh.
I'm doing Shylock instead of us Shylock.
Right.
All right, what's my motivation? The acquisition of money, to collect, to inflict pain if I have to. Guy splits with 15 large of my money, I go after him. What the hell you think I do?
So they owe me money. And then he's like just trying to get into character, and he's just like And he's just like trying to like manifest something like out of just like this premise.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's hilarious as fuck. It's just like it's funny to see like actors trying to act just like with a really thin premise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then I like how when they come to the lunch at I think they're going to the Ivy. They don't say, but I think they went to the Ivy.
Uh-huh.
And he's talking about the character. He's like, hey, like I feel like the acquisition of money, and he gets the girl.
Yeah.
And then like Harry Zinn is kind of like, what girl? Like he's like he's like 4 steps ahead of him at that point, and then he leaves again. Oh, I should have thrown in this at the very end when they do the reveal, and he turns around and it's Harvey Keitel.
Right.
And he just goes, fuck you, fuckball.
Yeah.
He's like,
Hey, Bones, look at me.
Fuck you, fuckball.
Damn.
a perfect mobster line.
Harvey Keitel. Yeah, that was a good switch and bait there at the end.
It's also good because if you've seen the movie before, you know it's coming, and you're looking for the cut. You're like,
right.
Okay, when does it turn into Harvey Keitel? Oh, not yet. He has overlock here. Is that the back of his head? Is that Harvey Keitel?
Yeah.
And then it happens. It's perfect movie, and it tricks everybody the first time.
Oh yeah,
they see it. Like you don't know anything's different until he flips around. So, and again, I wrote down just my favorite quotes, but there was a ton more in here.
I mean, yeah, anything that Dennis Farina was. I mean, he's just. Of course, you have Hackman, you have DeVito, John Travolta, but for me, kind of steals the show. He's so funny.
You think so?
Just playing himself, almost. It seems like.
Yeah, he does the movie star sort of vibe perfectly.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I do like the Touch of Evil is playing. You want to go see Charleston Heston be a Mexican? Yeah, I was looking for a line from that limo scene I like. It really doesn't have that one line, just the scene is good.
Right, yeah. It's like just the scene stands for itself.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And then IGIE, fuck you. from Bones. Next award.
I got a good. I hope you drive better than you spell. It's Barboni, not Barbone, you motherfucker.
If you want to go to the beach, this is the freeway we take. I'm from Miami Beach. You want to show me more beach?
Oh, I got another good one. Now they're just all coming to me. So he gets in the taxi. So he's on his way to the airport. He waves down a taxi, gets in the backseat. The fucking airport.
Right. Right. I don't know if I included him when we get to the best 6-man. Like that limo driver guy, he's pretty hot for the 1 minute of screen time.
Oh yeah.
I might get him in there. He's not in there maybe enough, but he's pretty good.
Right. What does he say again?
Mr. Barboni?
Yeah.
And he's like, hope your driving's better than you can spell. And he's just unaffected, still smiling, still holding the sign.
Is it the same dude at the beginning of the movie that says that the smog is what makes LA?
Oh, right. Just the smog.
Is it the same
line?
dude?
Yeah, that's the limo driver. Yeah, they say the smog is why we have such beautiful sunsets. Just hot. Just putting up just like the backup running back who comes into the game, catches a screen pass for 12 yards, rattles off an 8-yard run, and then throws a hellacious block. Where he's like, who's that guy?
Yeah.
All right, not bad. All right, well, let's do it. Best role player, a.k.a. the 6-man award.
Right.
I got Bear, played by Gandolfini.
Right.
The limo driver, and Nikki. I thought Nikki was pretty hot in there for her 1.5 scenes.
Yeah.
And she's in there where she explains how she met Chili Palmer, how her name's Nikki now, and how she used to be at a club for it. So I put her in there as well. But do you think Gandolfini's in the movie too much to be a 6-man, or is he a starter? He might be a starter.
Now that you mention it, my role player is in the movie way too much to be a role player. So now I have to change mine. So
Who'd you have?
I had Bones. I had John Travolta.
John Travolta.
No, I had Bones. Yeah, he's one of the principal characters. So now I have to rethink mine.
Yeah, Gandolfini is. I think he's in there too much.
Yeah.
To be a role player, but He's got some great ones in there. Not a lot of lines, but he does a lot of like acting with his eyes.
Gandolfini.
Yeah, he's looking up at Travolta, or he's doing a weird accent.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell. Did he have a southern accent?
I'm doing the gabagool accent.
You think he had an Italian accent?
I think he just he pretty much sounds like what he sounds like. He sounds like an Italian guy.
I never
think.
fully got what he was. I thought he had southern
Oh, really?
accent in it, but I think it's between, for me, the limo driver and Nicky.
Yeah.
Are the 2 6-man awards. I'm trying to think who else could be in there.
Fuck.
Maybe Ronnie, the guy who's like, I hear you, man, but where the fuck are you?
Yeah.
Could be that guy.
Damn. If I really had to go like obscure, I'd probably go with his Weir's girlfriend. You know the goth girl.
Nikki.
Oh, that's
Nikki.
Oh
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah, same person. I had Nikki in there too. She nails it as kind of like the floozy LA rocker chick who's with the older guy because he's famous type of thing.
I like your hair. I like the hair underneath your arms.
Oh yeah, she has armpit hair too. Right. I think it's Nikki. I think Nikki's the 6-man award.
Damn. I guess I'm gonna have to go with Uncle Rico. I mean, that's a bit of a forced option, but
Ronnie.
I did have Bones. He's my favorite.
I think he's in it too much. I'm with you. He's a little
Yeah.
more of a principal character. He's got a lot of screen time.
Yeah. Fuck it, guys. You can't get it perfect every time.
Maybe his suits, Bones' suits.
Yeah.
I did like.
You know what? I got so the dude that the dry cleaner that fakes his or like plays along with his
Leo.
own death. Yeah, Leo.
That's not bad. That's good.
I like when he's like, I'll charge you for the vig, and then you're gonna owe me another 15% for the vig, and then like he turns around, and he goes back to his room.
Right. He's scared.
He's all scared.
That's a good one. Yeah, he's wearing the hat. He's got the little ascot.
So just such a weasel.
That's a good one. I was gonna throw in the they say his name, Escobar.
Oh yeah.
Yayo's uncle. I thought it was pretty good. That was a pretty good scene there where he comes in, wants to find Yayo.
Even Yayo is probably a good.
Yayo could be a 6-man too. Pretty good. Good suit on him. Okay, a couple nominees there. I'm gonna stick with Nicky, but I do like Escobar. And there is funny too. I did like this for if we're gonna nominate. We should add a category like best prop of the movie. You know, we can pick an object or something. The scene where Bones has his foot on Harry Zim's neck.
Oh yeah.
And we see his shoe and sock. He's wearing like the thinnest sock known to man.
Oh really?
You know, so I'm gonna nominate his sock as best prop. It's just such like a cheap suit, thin little stocking sock.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. I'm gonna nominate Ray Bones' sock.
There you go.
As a prop / 6-man.
Bonus category.
All right, next category, next award, plot holes. These are nitpicks of the movie, problems with the movie. My main question is, all this shooting is going on, all this crime is going on. Where are the cops?
Where are the cops?
There's multiple scenes where a gunshot goes off and like we don't have a siren.
Yeah.
We don't have any cops anywhere. I mean, we have cops in the airport watching that locker. But like, are there no cops?
Where are the cops?
Where are the
That's
cops?
a good question.
In this movie, that was the only thing I could really think of for a plot hole or like a question. This movie is more of like, what questions do you have?
Yeah. My only concern, and it's like maybe not so much of a flaw as it is like maybe just kind of like a convenience for just to move the story along, is so like I think you kind of reacted the same way I did when the scene was happening. So you remember when Bones is coming up to confront Travolta in his office?
Oh yeah.
He has his gun out, and then Travolta just kind of has like the intuition. He has his gun out. I was like, how does he know?
Right. Yeah. Back to the question, like, was Chili Palmer just Superman?
Yeah.
Does he just like, because all the fighting scenes.
Very reckless on his behalf. Very gutsy. Trustworthy.
All all the chili questions, you could probably have a dozen. Like, how does he know everything?
Yeah.
How does he keep falling ass backwards into knowing Nikki?
Mm-hmm.
How does he keep convincing everybody? How does he know Ray Bones is coming into the office?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be like, is this guy clairvoyant? Is he psychic?
And then it's like also like when it's almost the identical scene in the beginning of the movie with Zim, where he goes downstairs and he's confronted by Bowen, almost like the identical way that he confronted Zim. It's like you like even like as a suspicious like what's the word? He's like, how is he not like superstitious like in that sort of respect? Like you taking over this guy's life in every sense. And then, like, almost the same thing, like, hey, there's a noise downstairs, like, the TV's on just how you left it. How would you not just be like, is there someone downstairs?
Mm-hmm. I like how you think, as a Raiders fan, I have to have my chair in a certain place for them to win a game.
You need all the help you can get, man.
I know this.
You better have stools on top.
Chair.
Yeah.
I gotta sit in the right chair. I gotta stand when I need to stand.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. I think every sports fan has a little bit of that.
Yeah,
Keep my... All right, they were doing good. They never convert third downs when I'm sitting.
They've been winning all their games since I stopped watching them. I can't watch them anymore, but I'm a fan, trust me.
Ever since I bought that Derek Carr jersey, things have gone downhill the last 2.5 years. I gotta exercise this jersey.
Jimmy G's on a streak, but since I've been wearing this Derek Carr jersey, they've been winning, so sorry. I love you, Jimmy, but Derek Carr.
What if my Derek Carr jersey is good luck now that he's off the team? And I have to wear the Raiders Derek Carr jersey still.
You just look like one of those fuckheads. It's just like, why hasn't he updated his
why
apparel?
is he still wearing Derek Carr Raiders gear?
Like, it's like, yeah.
That's right. I need Chili Bomber knowledge. I need Chili Bomber's brain for this season. Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest question is like, how is Chili Bomber so slick at all this? And if he's so slick, why is he just a loan collector? Why is he just this mid-level mob guy?
Right.
That's it? That's his job?
And he kind of fell into this gift, this movie producer gift, like kind of by chance.
Right. He doesn't
all by
set
chance,
out to
actually.
be a movie guy.
Because they're like, hey, go shake some money out of this movie producer's pockets, and that's how he kind of gets his foot in the door.
Yeah, because he goes in there and he's like, you really make movies? And then they start talking about it.
Yeah, I got this bitch. Mm-hmm. This guy owes us loan shark like $300,000.
Right.
I'm doing like Sebastian Maniscalco.
Yeah.
He owes him like $300,000.
How you doing? He comes in, he's like, hey, how you doing? I want to get a little piece of pie.
Here's the kicker. That guy's me.
Right. Yeah, his movie pitch idea really isn't that great. It's just
not.
his story.
Yeah.
And it's just, he's putting it together as they go along.
And then he gets,
how good could have his pitch been?
And he gets mad when Gene Hackman starts to suggest, like, fictional details to move the storyline. That's not what happened.
Right.
It's like, yeah, well, your story's, like, ongoing. It's incomplete. Mm-hmm. Don't be such an asshole.
And then Rene Russo comes in and rains on the parade, and she's like,
get the fuck out.
Leo, that was in the news. She's the Shylock. And Gene Hackman's like, is that right? So again, Rene Russo is just a challenge to everybody in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, that was in the news. He's the guy.
He's the guy, yeah.
She's annoyed. She's annoyed that she's woken up. She's in the kitchen. That's a good scene, too, the kitchen scene.
Yeah. She's like, how do you get in? Yeah, he also broke into their house, too.
Yeah.
How'd you get in?
How'd you break in? Oh, the back door. You broke in the back door?
It
was open.
It wasn't locked.
It's pretty good. That's a good scene, too. Throw that in there. Last category, unless you have any more movie questions. Blockbuster pairing. What blockbuster movie would you pair this with as a double feature? I got 3 nominees. Out of Sight, just keep the Barry Sonnenfeld train going. Mm-hmm. You see, I don't want to say a cleaner, tighter version, but a different version of the Sonnenfeld masterpiece is Out of Sight.
Same literary universe.
Literary universe, more cuts, a lot of editing friendly, editing heavy. And ensemble, George Clooney, Jennifer Lopez. I think Farina's in that movie too, actually.
Oh, really?
So you go Out of Sight. And then I went old school. Look Who's Talking.
Right.
We can see Travolta still doing the Travolta voice in Vinnie Barbarino
Yeah,
in a comedy.
Yeah.
And then as a third option, I went L.A. Story. Did you ever see L.A. Story with Steve Martin?
I haven't, no.
You got to see L.A. Story.
I'm not a big Steve Martin fan. I know I'm going to catch some heat for that.
You're going to catch heat for that. Not a Steve Martin fan?
I don't like him.
Really? How can this be?
I don't know. I get it. I just don't like it.
I don't understand. He's good in L.A. Story. It's an L.A. movie.
I don't know what to tell you guys.
It's a little more slapsticky or like funny, like
yeah. I don't like the
obvious,
slapstick.
like a little more nail on the head with L.A. Story. But it's funny. It's very like hits all the marks. L.A. douches, freeways, the bougie lunches.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd go L.A. Story. Keep the L.A. theme going in the blockbuster movie. What would you go for your pairing?
Wouldn't it be funny if I said I don't like Steve Martin, but I do like Pink Panther a lot?
I don't like Steve Martin, but I love Dane Cook. Like, interesting.
Yeah. So my pairing would be just going with the sort of crime infused and like sort of like Hollywood iconography is this Coen brother movie called Hail Caesar with George.
Oh, really? You like that movie?
I do.
Interesting.
It's a good movie. It's very Hail Caesar is it's a Coen brother movie. It takes place like in the golden era of American Hollywood. Josh Brolin is a sort of like a wrangler.
Mm-hmm.
He's like a producer / actor wrangler. So kind of like he keeps all the actresses and actors are just drug addicts, drunk. So he kind of wrangles them to keep them like on schedule with production. So it's kind of similar in the sense that like you know.
Movie industry,
the shady underbelly of the movie industry, and just kind of,
That's a good pick. I'd watch that movie.
Good movie. George Clooney, Channing Tatum. Check it out. Coen Brothers.
Steve Martin. No.
Steve Martin. Martin Short.
Carrot Top.
Right. Carrot Top.
Real
Harvey
powerhouse.
Keitel.
Wrapping up, final thoughts on Get Shorty. I love this movie because just the time frame. This is Travolta being like, I'm back, motherfuckers.
I'm back.
Look how good I am. I was always this good.
Yeah.
And put me with the right director, right script. Like, I've got chops. And he really does.
Yeah.
And like we're going through his filmography and it's Pulp Fiction, White Man's Burden. Okay, give him a pass. I don't know who cares about that movie. Then this one is awesome. Then we get into Action Travolta, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And then he's just our Hall of Famer.
Uh-huh.
He is our... Oh, we left out one category. I can't believe I forgot this one. The sports comparison.
Oh, okay.
This leads perfectly into the final thought. Travolta, for me, I wrote it down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give him LeBron. He's our LeBron. Like, maybe he didn't win 3 straight championships.
Right.
Maybe he doesn't have the 5 championships total.
Uh-huh.
But, like, he's been to the finals for 10 years.
Yeah.
You know, he's got the length of the career from a kid. He was on TV. Then he was in our life. He was Saturday Night Fever, Urban Cowboy.
Uh-huh.
Hit the low.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the decision for LeBron. Maybe hit the low with the Look Who's Talkings and things like that. And then right back up. Back to the Cavs, championship. Finishing off right off into the sunset with the Lakers.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, you're with me on LeBron.
I like that. I like that.
LeBron, he's our LeBron Travolta.
I like that a lot, actually.
Mm-hmm. Questions about his hair?
Questions about his
hair? Is Travolta bald? What's going on with LeBron's hair?
Yeah, LeBron's hair was like a huge...
Why didn't he ever buzz it?
No, but then you know what? When I think it was his first year with the Lakers, he had like full hair, and then like the next day he'd look like you know like a fucking.
He's had a lot of curious hair where it's obvious something's going on, and then it looks different. And if like Jordan is his idol, like why not the obvious choice to buzz it? Everybody has buzzed it. Jordan, Kobe, Kareem before him, Drexler. You all buzz it at some point, and he never...
Is that a sign of weakness to shave your head?
I don't think so.
Is it a sign of giving up? I don't. That's
I don't know.
That's what I don't get.
Doesn't make any sense. Along those lines, too, if we go Tom Brady hair, that guy's hair had a renaissance.
Yeah.
It's different for the white dudes, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's different for the white dudes. You can go Terry Bradshaw, and then all of a sudden you look like everybody's dad.
Yeah.
But yeah, with the
Jason Witten.
with the brothers, you buzz it. You look cooler.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
There must be some weird sort of psychology
Why didn't
that
he buzz
he's
it? I don't
just
know.
struggling with right now.
I don't understand it. He should have buzzed it or got like the surgery or something.
But I still, even like balding, I don't think he looks bad.
No.
It's a look.
It's a look.
You know, it's a sign of high testosterone,
Yeah, there you go.
which you would have if you're the king.
And Travolta's gone with the bald look.
He's accepted it.
He's accepted it. I think he still wears pieces from time to time.
Yeah.
But like he's gone with the bald look.
I think he did a commercial where he was bald.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think the LeBron comparison works on a few levels. Maybe
Yeah.
we'll get bald LeBron like sometime post playing.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll shave it off.
You mean next year?
Maybe next
Oh,
year.
I'm just kidding.
Maybe he's done.
He looks done. But this isn't an NBA podcast, okay? This is a...
That's true.
So mine would be...
All right, your sports comparison.
So I would probably like compare it to like a West Coast offense. So like lots of motion, lots of gadgets, and then all to just like, so we have like a running back in motion, a tight end that goes in motion after the running back sets, then like 2 drags, 2 posts, and then he just ends up dumping it off to like a running back for a gain of 2 yards. Like all that for
a lot of Omaha chants at the line.
Yeah, lots of like exactly.
57's the mic. 57's the mic.
Yeah.
Motion over. 62's the mic. Switch the mic linebacker 10 times.
Like point out the Mike linebacker 5 times. Use of motion.
Maybe
use
a
all your
play.
cock.
Maybe a play where the QB starts walking the line, calling an audible, but the center snaps it to the up back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, maybe one of those too.
And then runs it for 3 yards.
Yeah, and that would be the turnaround and fuck you, fuck ball.
Yeah.
And like, guess what? The running back's got it.
Yeah, exactly. The fucking airport.
Adrian Ramirez, Get Shorty. Have you ever seen? We did it.
Get Shorty, everyone. Go see it.
Thanks, man.